This third lesson in the perception unit is going to look at Gibson's direct theory of perception. So there's two theories you need to learn on this course, and this is the first one that we're going to look at. This is Gibson's theory. Now, Gibson's idea was that perception happens directly. So by that we mean that the visual environment, what we see, gives us all the information we need to perceive and tell what something is. So we don't need to use any of our past experiences, we don't need to use anything else to perceive something. We should know exactly what it is just by looking at it. So visual information such as light, the texture, the details of what we see helps us to make judgments about everything like distance, movement, depth. We don't need anything else other than what we see. And Gibson believed that sensation and perception were really the same thing. Our eyes detect everything we need to understand something. Now, Gibson came up with a few different ideas for his theory. And the first one we're going to look at is the idea of optic flow patterns. Now, whenever you travel by a mode of transport, whether that's on foot, in a car, the point you're travelling towards will always appear to remain stationary. Be like driving in this car. The point in the distance will always seem like it's not moving. But everything else will rush past you and away from your destination. And these are what Gibson called optic flow patterns. The distance remains stationary, everything else seems to rush past you. And what this means is it allows us to work out the speed and the direction of our movement. Secondly, he came up with something called motion parallax. Now, Gibson identified motion parallax as a monocular depth cue. So remember, that was something we can see with one eye to help us judge the speed of our movement. When we're moving, objects close to us appear to be moving really fast compared to objects which are further away. So if we look at this image here, the train is travelling in this direction and this barrier here is really close to us and it looks like it's moving really fast. Whereas the trees, which are slightly further away, seem to be moving more slowly, as do the clouds. Again, much further away, so appear to be moving much, much more slowly. And this motion parallax helps us work out, again, how fast we are moving. Like Gibson says, we can get everything we need from our surrounding environment. Now, he also believed in the role of nature. So he said we don't need to learn how to perceive our environment. It's something we are born with. It's something that's innate, as we'd say in psychology. So we perceive things using sensory information only. We look for those things in our environment. We don't need to use past experiences or anything we've learned. We are born with the ability to perceive everything we need in our environment.